LIVID Libs launch all-out tour on Sports Illustrated after they see what they did to their new cover. Yesterday morning the sports rag known as Sports Illustrated, who most people only read when the annual swimsuit issue comes out, unveiled their cover for this week's issue. Given the recent sharp turn in the national conversation towards ungrateful spoiled ball tossers and their made-up indignation against the United States of America and the oppression these rich ingrates go through for living here, it was only a matter of time before self-important so-called magazines like Sports Illustrated turned their focus to the story. Their cover art choice, though, opened the magazine up to plenty of criticism from both sides of the political aisle. Even though the cover is clearly offensive every which way you look at it, liberals have once again become unhinged over a nothing burger. The cover shows longtime supporter of protesting racial injustice, Roger Goodell, right in the front row, photoshopped arm-in-arm with Stephen Curry. Even though Kopernik's career had been on a sharp downward spiral since he led the 49ers to their first Super Bowl loss to the Ravens, Roger Goodell, head of the National Football League, is being blamed by liberals for effectively ending the failed 49ers quarterback's brief career. In the eye of failure, Kopernik then started this movement single-handedly last year after being convinced by his girlfriend, who has ties to radical Islam, that his $110 million contract isn't enough to make up for all the injustices this nation has bestowed upon him. But what really has liberals up in arms is that on the cover we see a photoshopped chairman of the National Football League, Goodell, who is a Trump supporter, linking arms in unity with Trump-hating, illiterate Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors, or Dubs if you have an IQ of less than 70. Along with the fact that there is no Kopernik to be found. Yes, that's what our great nation has come to, folks. Yahoo Sports reports. Ray Lewis, Colin Kopernik's girlfriend, cost him a job in Baltimore. Ray Lewis has added an interesting new twist to the ongoing question of why Colin Kopernik isn't playing for the Baltimore Ravens right now. In Lewis's words, Kopernik's girlfriend is the problem. Speaking on Showtime's Inside the NFL, Lewis discussed conversations he and Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti had regarding Kopernik. "We were talking about giving this kid an opportunity to get back in the National Football League," Lewis said. "I have been fighting for this kid behind the table like nobody has. I've never been against Colin Kopernik. But I am against the way he's done it." Bisciotti said at the time that he was seeking prayers from fans, asking for their guidance in whether to sign the quarterback who's drawn far more notoriety for his stance against the national anthem than anything he ever did on a football field. Why an NFL owner would need to run a personnel decision by his fanbase is unclear, unless he was seeking justification for whatever direction he'd already wished to take. Given the fact that Kopernik rouses emotions far beyond his skills, Bisciotti could find any justification he wished in order to sign, or avoid signing, Kopernik. And, as Lewis tells it, the Ravens found that justification courtesy of Kopernik's girlfriend, Nessa Diab. According to Lewis, the Ravens were just about to sign Kopernik, but then, his girl goes out and put out this racist gesture and doesn't know we are in the back office about to try to get this guy signed, Lewis said. Steve Bisciotti has said it himself, how can you crucify Ray Lewis when Ray Lewis is the one calling for Colin Kopernik? View image on Twitter. The racist gesture Lewis is referring to is apparently this tweet from Diab, which uses a still from the movie Django Unchained to paint Bisciotti and Lewis as master and slave. Look, there's no denying that's a pretty unwise maneuver, calling a potential future employer a slave owner, but actual NFL players, not their girlfriends, have made far worse social media misfires and remain employed. Plus, this was apparently more of a shot at Lewis, who's tried to paint himself as both a sympathetic ear for Kopernik and a stern voice of reason, giving himself cover in every direction. "The football field is our sanctuary," Lewis said back in August, speaking openly to Kopernik. "If you do nothing else, young man, get back on the football field and let your play speak for itself. And what you do off the field, don't let too many people know, because they're gonna judge you anyway. No matter what you do. No matter if it's good or bad." The problem with that idea is that Kopernik can't get back on the football field if nobody signs him. And no one's going to sign him if they're just looking for reasons not to sign him. Not only that, off the field Kopernik has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to charitable causes, which certainly is one off-field activity that stands up to whatever judgment they could mete out. Sure, Kopernik can simply tell his girlfriend to stop tweeting, but then another reason would arise to give teams justification to avoid signing him. That's how these things work, the goalposts are always receding. The issue isn't that teams don't want Kopernik, he's not entitled to a job in the NFL. The issue is that teams and their apologists continue to trot out weak stories and distractions to avoid speaking the truth about why they don't want him. Meanwhile, the teams continue to sign quarterbacks who aren't Kopernik, and continue to make it harder to believe that he's not in the league because he can't play football. Unless, of course, you believe a quarterback who lasts through a regular season pass in 2011 is a better option than one who started just last season. Maybe there is no Kopernik on the cover because they didn't have enough room to Photoshop his ego into the picture? Maybe there is no Kopernik on the cover because they didn't have enough space to Photoshop his ego and girlfriend into the picture? Join the Support Our Vets, Boycott the NFL and their sponsors Facebook page by liking it, and share if you're boycotting the NFL and the companies that support them.